Yo, right. Let's do something cool like crit chance, crit damage, that kind of stuff, and then a quick devlog. Because I've had a boring day of doing performance and deleting stuff, and I want to do something fun. So I'm assuming that you already have some sort of damage system, right? You're not a complete beginner, and that you just started. You're like, I want to do crits. Let's do this. No. First of all, I'm assuming you have something like this, right? You hit enemies, damage numbers pop up. You already seen the basics and you know the basics, right? You have some sort of experience. I'm gonna save the more hand-holdy stuff for like a more beginner-friendly tutorial. This is more like showing you how I do stuff to give you a light bulb moment, like for you to go like, oh, that's what I'm doing wrong, kind of stuff. So we have this. We're checking for each enemy, and we're doing damage. No, they each have their own damage rolls, right? The damage isn't always the same. And when you get crits, you want that to happen as well. So when I first started doing crits, I had a few bugs, like, right? So either they all crit at once, or like one would crit and then all the damage numbers would go red, instead of just the one specific crit. There you go. That's how it's actually supposed to work. Because that's what you've always seen in games, right? You hit multiple enemies, and you roll for each of the enemies you just hit. And then the specific one that got crit, that's the one that gets the red number and pops up and all that stuff. Right. So that's working properly. So how do you do that? Well, first, I guess to explain the whole thing, I need to quickly talk about what's happening when I'm hitting an enemy. So I'm doing the thing that I keep talking about, which is object picking or object tagging. So when I create the slashing attack, I press a button and my character creates the slash in front of her. It's a separate sprite. You just it's created in front of her and has the animation of slashing, right? When that slashing attack hits an enemy, it's gonna create not a global an object variable on that specific character with a number, and I call that the 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 variable tag 2, right? So when we hit it, it's a 0, and then it turns to 1. Where is it? It's here. So this is what's stopping the damage from happening multiple times while the slashing attack is in collision with the enemy. So this is a different concept. Hopefully you have your own system to stop the attacks, right? But if you don't, you can literally copy this. Like if you have this issue where your attacks just keep hitting multiple times, you don't know how to stop them, you can literally just copy this, because this will create the variables for you. You don't have to like go on your object and put the variables and all that stuff. So anyways, that out of the way, how do you actually do the crits? So you're going to need two global variables. One that's whose sole job is just to create the random number between 1 and 100. We call this one crit random. You can call it the same thing to follow along. So go onto your variables, global variables, and create two variables. One called crit random and one called crit chance. This is what you're going to give to your items to make the crits happen, right? So once you have these global variables, crit random and crit chance, now you're going to need to give crit chance to your character. So the best way of doing this is, where's an item? Oh man. Where did I put my inventory? I think it's below. Uh, Dodge, ladder, generic, inventory. Inventory armory. Yeah, there we go. So star pendant. So the best way of doing this is whatever it is you're doing to gain the crit. In my case, is when I'm hovering over the item and the item's not equipped and I press the button, it's going to change my item to equipped. You need some sort of system like this first, or some sort of condition that can only happen one time, that one specific time, and then the action is going to be um, change the global variable, crit chance, add a, a number between 1 and 100. And this is going to be the percent chance, right? So in this case, it's adding 20. So it's 20%. Now, why am I saying this can only happen once and when you want it to? In my case, it only happens when I'm literally touching the item with my cursor and then I press the button. And this only happens that one time. If you want to give crit chance to your character, make sure that it only happens that one specific time. Because and it's not like just locked under the trigger once. I have trigger once here, but this might as well not be here. It would still only happen one time when I press the button. If you have something, because trigger once is not global. So if you have something like, let's say this, like item is equipped at 22 crit chance, trigger only once. So you equip an item, the item now is equipped. And it's going to say, oh, okay, it's equipped, trigger once, at 20. You're like, cool, it happens. It only happened the one time, right? And then you change the scene, and the moment you change the scene, trigger once is actually going to trigger again because the whole thing is going to read one more time and it's going to check, wait, is the item still equipped? Yes, trigger only once, add another 20. So every time you change the scene, it's going to add more and more and more and more crit. This was something that happened to me in the beginning as well. It's like every time I change the scene, it's like, why is this number keep going up? I put a trigger once, but trigger once is not global. Every time you change the scene, every time something happens to that thing, it's going to trigger again. So make sure, wherever it is, like for example, a power up, like you want to give. So when your character collects something, it gains crit, right? So you make it so that only when the character is in collision with a specific enemy or a specific power up does it add to the crit chance, and never again, right? So if this keeps happening to you, like your crit chance keeps going up and you're not sure why, that's why. It's because you didn't lock it to the specific time where you want it to, right? And then, for example, to make it go down, I have it when the item is equipped and I press the button again, it unequips the item, and then it subtracts from crit chance 20. So we take 20% away. I hope that made sense. So, anyways, so you equip the item, or you were in collision with a power up, or something like that, and now your crit chance went up. So let's say we have the star pen equipped. So now this crit chance is 20. Cool? Right. So let's run it all the way from the start to make sure that everything happens properly. So at the very start, you're going to check. Well, I keep telling you, if you don't know this already, make a global group, put all your enemies inside that global group, call it enemies. I've showed this before. I'll show it again. Sorry for the people who know. Just in case you don't. You go here on the side. You click the thing to show up the groups here. This will pop up. Click on the bottom. Add a new group. Call it enemies. It'll create here. You drag and drop over here to make it global. Double click and put all your enemies here. You're welcome. This will make your life so much easier. Learn how to use global groups, and the making of events is going to be so much easier for you. Right. So let's say you have that group set up. In code, no, there you go. All right. So you're going to start by right clicking and putting in add for each object. There we go. Add for each object. This is going to pop up. And then it's going to say repeat for each blank. You're going to click on this and type in enemies. And then you're going to create a sub event. And this is where we're going to check for collision and do stuff. Right. So when the slashing attack, or when your bullet, or whatever it is you're using to do damage, is in collision with the enemies, the same group, same one we made up there. This is my tagging system. You can copy this if you don't have to. If you don't have a system like this, it's fine. Try it out. This is an object variable. If the object variable tag2 of enemies equals 0, this is just going to stop it from happening over and over again. When you're in collision, when your bullet's in collision with the enemies, then we're going to change the global variable crit random set to random in range between 1 and 100. Okay, simple enough. You don't know what this means. This just means that whenever this happens, this is going to generate the number between 1 and 100. That's all. Just copy this. You'll be fine. Random in range 1 to 100. Now, so our slashing just collided with an enemy, and you rolled a number. And we have our star pendant equipped. So we have 20% or 20 crit chance. We rolled a 24. So now we're going to check. Is the crit random less or equal to crit chance? No. We have 20 crit chance. And we just rolled a 24. So this ain't it. We don't do this. We're going to move on to the next one. By the way, don't be afraid of all this stuff. This is just particle effects. Don't worry about it. I like shiny things. So then we're going to check this one. Is crit random bigger than crit chance? Crit chance is 20. We just rolled a 24. Yes, it is. So we're going to do this one. So what are we going to do? First of all, if you're using my tagging system, we're going to change the tag of enemies to 1. Remember, the collision asked for 0. So now we're going to change it to 1, meaning it's no longer 0, so it's no longer going to trigger the damage again. Right? If you don't want to use this, move along. If you have your own system, it's fine. Move to this one. So the very first thing we're going to do is change the crit random, and we're going to put it back to 0. Right? We did what he did what he needed to do, gave us a number. We put it back to 0 so that no funny business happens next time we attack. And then you're going to apply your damage. This is a non-crit. We didn't crit. This is just normal damage. So just apply your normal damage here. In my case, my normal damage is this. I do a round, and then random in range, the minimum and max damage, whatever. You don't need all this stuff. This is specifically for my game. You can just do apply 10 damage, right? Or whatever damage it is you do. And then the rest, this is just sparkle effects and things like that. Don't mind any of this. This is not needed for anything. This is like sound effects and so on. Sorry. Now, the next step is you're going to create another sub event. And this is where you're going to put your damage numbers. So if you have your damage numbers somewhere else in like a neat little place, whatever, where you do things, don't. For my experience, you need to put them back here. They need to happen in the same time where this event happened. Because this is checking, let's say if you hit 3 enemies, like we're doing with the skeletons, this is going to repeat for each of your skeletons, right? So as long as it's underneath this umbrella, right? Because this is the main event, this is a sub event, and then this is a sub event, and then this is a sub event, and all this. So it all stems from each other, from the very top. So when we collide, this is going to check for one skeleton, not all of them, right? Because it has check for each of your enemies. So if you have the numbers outside of this umbrella of this, then you're going to get that bug where if you get a crit and you tell the numbers to go red, then all the numbers are going to go red because it doesn't know which enemy or which instance of damage was the crit. It just knows, oh yeah, there was a crit. Cool, I'm going to make them all red. There was no crit. I'm going to make them all yellow. Cool, right? You need to tell them specifically that a crit or a non-crit just happened on that specific enemy. Do it for that specific place. And to do that, you're going to put your damage numbers in a sub event. So check for all your enemies. We collide. We make a random number. Was the number bigger or lower than your crit chance? It was bigger, then it's not a crit. Okay, cool. Then another sub event. If the health of your enemy was just damage, health of your enemies, see again the grouping, it's helping again. Then you're going to do this. All right, this is the damage numbers popping up. Like I create the damage, then you change the damage to the damage value. You should have this already, right? If you don't, go watch the GDevelop tutorials. They teach you how to do this. This is how I learned. It was from them. They have some really cool, very simple to follow tutorials. And they're very basic, right? So you can learn the basics from them and then adapt. But anyways, so you just had a non-crit. So what happens when you do get a crit? So your second enemy was in collision. It rolled a number. This time it rolled an 18. So it's going to move on to here again. Now, is the crit number, crit random less or equal to crit chance? Yes, right? We have 20 crit chance and it just rolled an 18. So we get a crit. What do? The very same thing. If you're using my tagging system, we put the tag thing to 1. If you're not, move on to the next one. It's the same as the bottom one. First thing, we change the crit random to 0 so no funny business can happen next time we attack. And then we apply the damage. Don't need to put this is specific for my game. Let's say we're still doing 10 damage, right? The only thing you need to do is put an asterisk and then a 2. So times 2. If you're using more equations, then just add the times 2 at the end. Oh, pardon me. Just remember, no, because this is all math territory, right? Sorry. Just remember, if you're doing like, oh, my damage is this variable plus this variable, or this variable times this variable, or whatever, Just make sure you put your normal damage under parentheses, and then at the end, you do a times 2 on those parentheses, right? I have another parenthesis at the end because I'm doing a rounding of the numbers. So if the numbers are like 17.5 or 17.7, it'll just roll to 18, right? So it's nice round numbers. Yeah. So just add a asterisk 2 because that makes it a times 2. So if you're doing 10, you do like 10 asterisk 2 or 10 times 2, which would be 20, right? You just got a crit. So now it's 20. Then we do all this stuff, and these are like special effects. Again, you don't need to do those. And then you're going to do the same as the non-crit, right? You're going to do another sub-event, and if the health of your enemies was just damaged, then you do the damage numbers. And this is where I make the red numbers, right? I think there's one that changes the color. Create damage text 2. Oh no, it's damage text 2 is already red. Right, so I just need to create the rest, the tweening and so on. And that's it. That's crit. Right? It's pretty simple. I mean, I was running through it, and obviously to go slowly and try to explain things, it makes things. All right, before I forget, if you're using the tagging system, so you're like, what the hell is this? What's up with the tagging system? Well, let's say you just copy pasted all of this stuff, and now your enemies no longer take damage. It's because you need to reset the tag. So whenever my slashing or your bullet or whatever is in collision with enemies, and their object variable tag 2 equals 0, which will always equal 0 if you didn't make the variable, because if the variable doesn't exist, equals 0. You don't need to make it, you'll check anyways. And then when you hit either with a crit or a non-crit, we change that variable to 1. So we lock this because it's no longer 0. This no longer can happen. This can't go, and this can't happen. So it can only take damage once. So how do you reset the thing back to 0 so you can do more damage? That happens somewhere. It's here. So this is where I create the slashing attack. It's a bit of a mess. I need to clean it up. But yeah, so when you generate your bullet or your slash or whatever, then we change the variable, the object variable tag 2 of enemies to 0. This is where the reset happens. So I attack, and then when I press I press the button, it changes this to 0. It hits the enemy. The enemy now changes to 1. And then I press the button, and now changes to 0 again. And then I create a new one, which will hit the enemy again. Now this happens. This works just like this, and it's fine because there's actually a little cooldown of when I can attack again. So there's a 0.2 second delay between my attacks. If you make an attack that's like really slow, right? Make a slashing attack that takes like 2 seconds to happen, and you're able to keep pressing the button, then for as long as the slashing attack is in collision with the enemy and you're pressing the button, then he's going to take more damage again. All right. So I don't know. This was a whitewashy way of explaining the tagging system. So if it doesn't make sense, just don't use it. Just use your own stuff. I need to change this. I don't like the delay thing that I need to wait. I need to make it with an ID system, which would be a bit more complicated to explain. But yeah, I need to make that happen. I don't like stuff that's just like not concrete. So like if I needed to change this, I like the 0.2 second delay. Don't get me wrong. I hate not having delay on my attacks so that whatever the player can just like press the button like 50 times a second and it will work. I hate that. Like my cousin actually tests my games, and the very first thing I noticed when she grabbed one of my games was she button mashed the crap out of the attack button. Right? She'd come up to an enemy and she would have like she wouldn't like try to hit it a couple times, then dodge or whatever. Like no, she would run up to the enemy, just press it as fast as she could, and like kill him faster than he can kill her. Right? So I was like, oh, that's not good. Let's put a little delay, to engage the player more, and it works. Right? You put the little delay in, and then she goes like, "Oh, I can't kill him as fast, so I gotta have more of a strategy," and it works. It actually works. But anyways, that was a crit. Right? This is how crits work. So make sure it's all under the same umbrella. And if you're gonna do damage numbers, it's a good thing to put it like the round at the beginning. You just do round parentheses and then your numbers, because this will always give you a round number, so you don't get like silly numbers like 20.1. It just doesn't look right. Oh man. So a little bit of a devlog. These things, the comments, this stuff, I've been checking their performance on the game. They're like, you're a crazy person. They're just comments. They don't have events. They don't do anything. You're wrong. I thought so too. Until I did testing, and turns out, no, they do have a pretty big impact, especially when you're like me and you use like a bunch of them. Because I use them all over the place because it kept things neat, right? Neat and organized and all that stuff. And it was slowing down my game, I think, because the performance with GDevelop, it just goes up and down and up and down and up and down as far as I can test. And what am I looking for? I was looking for something. I started talking, I start rambling. Oh, it's my enemies. It's my enemies. It's right here. Right. I'm gonna activate the enemies before I forget. So yeah. So I tested it and it was like, okay, this has an impact on performance. Like the more stuff you put on here on the event sheet, even if it's like empty events, it will impact performance. If you put a comment, it will impact performance. If you put an event group, it will impact performance. And I mean like without the events. If you just add an event group completely empty, it'll work the same way. It will still ask for processing power in your game, which is kind of silly. I started talking and I really hope I didn't delete something I shouldn't. Oh God. I don't think I did. I don't think I did. I think I just deleted the. These are animations. These are controls. Yeah, it's all here. I get like that. Like I space out and then my OCD is like, dude, are you sure you didn't screw anything up? I was like, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Were you? But no, I don't think I deleted anything. But yeah, so all of that stuff impacts your performance. So that's why I no longer have a pretty neat, separated, whatever events, because all that stuff was destroying my performance, I think. Like, I still don't know. That's the thing, right? So I still don't know until like a couple more days, because the performance of GDevelop just goes up and down and all over the place, and it's nuts. It drives me wild trying to pinpoint where some of the issues are. And let's go from the start. So it's kind of frustrating in a way, because like yesterday I worked all day on performance. And my thanks was the performance was potato. It was awful. Oh? No, that was just a hiccup. Um it was complete potato at the end of the day. I was like, what the hell am I doing wrong? Right? I did all the performance I could. What else do you want from me? And then I started like checking out an empty scene and checking out where all the crazy stuff was. And it's like, wait, why is this like this or whatever? So anyway, I started poking at it, and I figured out that the comments and all that stuff actually impact your performance. And then when you have like hundreds of them, like me, it's like it's gonna make a difference. It's gonna make a big, big, big difference. So today was just me deleting the comments, and I'm knackered. I'm absolutely shattered. 9.69. 69. Sorry. I'm a child. Um, that's not so bad. That is not bad. That is not very bad. It's been very worse. Health is fine. This is fine. Man, the platformer, I need to make that go down. Not really sure how. Not really sure how to make the platformer be any better. Because I like having my characters as platformers, because then you can do cool stuff. I mean, it's 40 ms. I can probably live with it. But see, like, there's a full ms still missing. And I'm 100% sure it's because of the event. Because of the event grouping. The actual label, not the actual event. But maybe I can squeeze some more performance out of this. Like sounds, I have no idea why it's got 12 ms. Maybe I can get rid of the sounds. In-game menu. It's a 12. Why? Why is this one 5? Open menu? I haven't opened the menu. Why is it 5? See, I need to check all this stuff. All the ones, but look at all the zeros. It's so nice when you look at them. It's like, oh, look at all the zeros. You know, look at all the stuff that's like locked away. And then character. I mean, we're not moving, and it's still like 38 ms. We didn't do anything. It's 38. It's like, okay, dude. So yeah, I've done like nothing in my game lately. I mean, it still went down to 56 then. It's like the first interactions. They're always like, see, the first interaction was really bad. We brought it down to like 50 something. And then it was fine. And it's smooth, like it plays smoothly. It feels fine. Yeah, I need to change that particle effect. I need to make her ribbon a separate item, and then put it on top of the effect, because it looks so ugly like this. Okay, 59 at that point. When it goes like crazy, like 68, 70s, that's because when you take a hit, it slows down, so it gives you more frames. You working? You are. Yeah. So this one's gonna be a first interaction, so the FPS goes down as well. I don't know. It's weird. Hello. Yeah, that's fine. Let's give us some items. Make it more fun. Well, we're doing crits, so let's give us crit. Let's give us crit. Dodge is broken right now. These are boring. I need to change these. I hate like flat stats items. Oh, this one makes your bullets pierce. Like it doesn't specifically say that. But I made a video like showing how to make a piercing bullet like that. And then I was like, dude, that's a cool item. I'll just make this as an item. Make piercing bullets. So I connected it to the knight's sword just to test it. Yeah, everything. Wait, shenanigans. Wait. Why is the light so much faster? What the hell? Like the fireball light is miles ahead of the fireball, and now it's miles behind the fireball. Why? What did I do? Oh my god, this sucks. What's with the difference? I didn't do anything. I don't think I did. Like, wait, is the lights not moving? Wait, I need to check. What did I do? What did I do? How did I break it? Oh my god. Oh my god, I broke you too. No, I actually know how I broke you. I'm fixing the animation so they don't play off screen, and I changed the name. That's why the animation isn't playing. That makes perfect sense. Now the fireball, on the other hand, is like, why are you not working? I don't know. Oh, that one's working. Like the explosion lights is working. Oh my god. What did I do? I'm not gonna fix it now. It's late. I still need to upload this. I think. I'm just gonna do a quick check. Because I think I really did break it. So we're gonna grab the lighting layer. Actually, we don't need to grab it. We just need to disable it, right? I wasn't even grabbing it because of this. Damn it. So lighting is this one. And I think I can just hide it. Right? I think. It's always like this, right? What did I do? What the heck? Why did that break? I didn't know that. Like if you turn off the lighting, it does that. Anyways, let's put it to the back. Okay, fine. You don't want to work properly. We'll do it that way. I never tried hiding the layer. I just changed it places. I didn't know it like just stopped working. I thought it like disappeared or something. Wait, does this not work as well? Oh my god, this doesn't work. How do I make? Because I'm creating it on the layer. Right, so it doesn't matter where I put the layer. Because I actually need to change the fireball light to a different layer so I can actually see it better where it is and where. Okay, whatever. Tomorrow me can fix it. Yeah, today me was just no. I did performance. It worked. So far. So far has been much better. Let's try this one. Like fresh. No, nothing in memory, just completely fresh. Let's try to break the FPS. I'm gonna give it the piercing bullet just because it's more fun. Okay. It's on the 60s. Let's break it. You went to 30s. There was so much stuff going on. It just went, nah, I give up. Yeah. Why did my fireball stop working? Not fireballs, the fireball lights. That's a new one. Yeah. It's not working. Oh my god. But yeah, anyways, so shooting a bunch of fireballs into a bunch of enemies still breaks the FPS. Okay. I think we can we can like okay that one because it makes sense, right? Is this one But for general playing purposes, this is fine. Like, I need to check the MS. I'm curious. I'm so curious that if tomorrow when I start playing, if it's like gonna be worse, or if it's like if this is like the worst but gone better, the better performance, and tomorrow it's gonna be the good one. Oh my god, he looks so silly. Not changing. Yeah, if tomorrow's gonna be like the good one and the MS is gonna be like super low. Why do the lights not work? I didn't change anything to do with the lights. Why must you do this to me? It's always at the end of the day as well. It's like everything's fine, everything's fine, and there's like everything's not fine. Do your lights work? Your lights work? Look at that. Their lights work. How come this one doesn't? Wait, that time it worked? No, it's not. It's just because it's bright. It's gonna be bright, sunshiny day. Yeah, it's not working. Like it just goes. It just disappears off screen. That's pretty lame. I like also accidentally I made a good change to my enemies. Like I made them faster when I was redoing the AI. And they feel so much more fun to play against. Cuz before they kind of just like waddled a little bit towards you. You're like, there's no danger, but making big numbers is kind of fun. Kind of like this one. Like that one wasn't as bad. Like remember the skellies? Like the skellies went down to like 30 FPS, and these ones are like, we're cool. You can shoot as many fireballs as you want, and FPS is fine. And they're also a platformer object, so can't even beat that. But yeah, so see, they're more fun. They like come chasing after you more quickly. So I don't know. It's more engaging, I guess. It's the word I'm looking for. It's gonna be bright. Oh man, I got that song stuck in my head now. Sunshiny day. I think everything's working so far. 61. And went down to 59. This poor guy is just... I'm sorry. I'll fix it tomorrow. He lost his animations. I need to change that as well. Wait. Did we start on this one? We did. Yeah, we started on this one. I was like, why are we getting this one again? Because we're not supposed to. I was wondering, like, oh, why the hell? Because you lock the thing before you go to the scene. So you lock out the scene before you go to it. Oh man, I'm gonna have to fix this as well. Like, getting the items. See, I had all this stuff running perfectly. And then the freaking flex thing happened. And... yeah, this is all working well. Man, I want to like work on new bosses and actually make my first boss, because this one kind of sucks, right? I don't think he's even active. No. We can beat him up, but he doesn't do anything. The poor guy. Yeah, I disabled him. Anyways. That's it. I kind of just been winding down, really, before I go to bed. 56 FPS. I don't know. I'm gonna have to keep like an eye out on the whole performance thing to see how stuff works. But anyways, that's gonna be me for today. I hope you got something out of this. So tomorrow, man, what even am I gonna do tomorrow? Well, I'm gonna fix the lights. I'm gonna fix the animation of the Minotaur. Then maybe do a bit more cleaning up and fix some stuff like dodge. Like the dodge, I forgot to put it in the variable, so it's not saving to memory. Oh man, just a ton of little things. But getting close to getting the game rolling again how it was before the flex container broke and I had to redo all the things. So, yeah. Man, can't wait to move forward again. I've been stuck for weeks just redoing work. I've been doing debugging and stuff. I guess that's good stuff. Anyways, if you made it all the way here, what's wrong with you? Right. I'm out. Peace out.